First of all, the idea of us losing our standing in the world. We have 30 nations that are allies to us in our efforts over in Afghanistan and Iraq. Do you know that at the end of World War II there were only 9 nations? The standing in the world, you know, if you have to look at things in their historical context, I think, before we just say we don't have any more standing in the world. Mr. Kerry, Senator Kerry last night said that he thinks there should be a global test to determine whether or not we enter into these conflicts. This nation of ours should not submit ourselves to the whims and the decisions of other nations when it comes to the defense of our country. We should elect people with good character, with vision, who have a history and a track performance to make the decisions necessary to stand up for this nation. As far as the record on Bush, the difference I think between Bush and Kerry, you got to go ferret out, as Midge pointed out so eloquently, you have to go ferret out his record, whereas Bush was proud to put it right straight out in front of you, and there's a big difference there. You made a comment about how how do you measure if you win or lose a war? What's the outcome of the war? And 12,000 people wounded or killed. 1,054 of our men and women are killed. There's also been 50 million people liberated. 50 million people have been liberated from the tyranny that existed in Afghanistan and Iraq. And we can scoff that off, but I'll tell you, as somebody who has been trying to get both parties to acknowledge the problem in the Sudan for 7 or 8 years. I've been there 3 times. That is absolute destruction of human life over there. I'm offended that both parties have just now decided that it's something that they're going to look at, and they're still not making any real decisions on what they're going to do other than sending them help. That is ethnic cleansing going on in the Sudan over there. I've been speaking on it for 7 years. We have to be willing to make the hard decisions and go into places for the defense of the defenseless, and it's just something that we are called to do, I believe, as Americans. Stem cell research. Stem cell research has to go forward. However, we do not need embryonic stem cell research, and that's the difference. Staying away, even scientists today are saying that there's enough stem cell, good stem cell to do research with without going into embryonic stem cell research. You made a comment, old man fights wars. You know, it's always been that way. I mean, old men make the decision, and it's the young men and the women who fight wars. That's historically, that is how it is, and it is wrong, and it is bad. I come from a family, I'm the first male in my family since 1850 to not go to West Point. And why did I go to West Point? Because 2 uncles, one a retired general, the other lieutenant colonel, both West Point grads, came to me during Vietnam and said, "We're asking you not to go in." And I said, "Why?" They said, "Because a bunch of families like ours are breaking the tradition that have a long-standing tradition because it was our way of protesting the war in Vietnam." Now think about that. These are seasoned military officers. My uncle, the colonel, had half of his leg, most of his life after Vietnam. He had 2 inches of his bone of his leg removed for his fighting. The general who came to me had been held prisoner in the Philippines, put on a prisoner of war, Japanese prisoner of war ship, dove off, was shot at, got back to the island of Mindanao, organized the Philippine regulars, and took back the island. These are not people who hide from war. These are war heroes who said that the war they're waging in Vietnam, they're waging the wrong way, and they said, "We want to have a protest." There are ways to make protests. My relatives, I believe, were telling me how to do it the right way. The way John Kerry did it, I believe, undermined the Vietnam War, went directly to lengthening the war, and undermined the service of the great men and women who were risking their lives at that war. Time is up. We'll talk more later. Thank you very much.